nothing.
Not touching that.
No.
Our guest in studio is the current MD of Vodacom Lesotho. His name is Mohale Ralebitso. I have no idea what I'm going to call you throughout this interview because I imagine people expect me to call you Ndati.
Yeah, or bra or something.
Okay.
No, please, if you do that, you're setting the standard, because if you call him Ndati,
Then you will have to
I have to call him Bomalume or
Yeah.
something.
Ndatemul.
Let's keep it informal. Just Mohale will do, and also,
I'm going to call you Rally.
you don't want to date me. No, don't let that secret out the fox. But
Fine. The MD of Vodacom Lesotho is in studio with us. We are going to be chatting with him for the next 45 minutes to an hour. Of course, the segment is Reimagine the Kingdom, as I have already mentioned. So we will ask that very important question at the end of the segment. Season 2 kicks off. I'm going to let you ask the first question because we don't normally do it like that. So let's do something different for season 2.
Oh, because it's season 2?
Because it's season 2.
Oh my gosh, I feel special.
Yeah.
You know, it's so important that I even sat down and I did like Google research,
Oh,
because
yeah?
I'm not trying to be mean, because
Okay.
because I'm blue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But aren't you supposed to ask
Tryna-
my permission before you do a Google stuff?
Oh.
On Google.
To say that Ralebitso, can we look you up?
On Google.
Hey,
No, sir.
It's for everybody.
No. Not on
everybody.
Google.
okay.
Not on Google.
Fine.
Not on Google. Just to check though, are you able to hear him?
Yes.
Okay.
He's a bit faint, so if you
Oh, should
Come
I
closer.
just there you go.
Is that better?
That's the one. That
Yeah.
is the one. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not doing the rap segment today.
Are you not?
So, no,
You're not
no.
giving us a freestyle.
No, I'm not going to do a freestyle.
Oh wow.
Well, let's see how we go. Maybe if you guys.
I feel
shout
like you're
me-
gonna do a freestyle.
You reckon?
Red freestyle.
Please don't.
Go ahead, Isabella.
So my questions
That's a
may
beautiful
be very, very difficult to. Oh, my name. Thank you.
She's got like 10
I would
names.
like to know.
Like, how do you let the line?
Savela, Mahokoloto, Mahotso,
Oh gosh.
Sorry, Isabella.
Okay.
Continue.
So I want to know regarding the whole, would-be situation with LCA. I know that it's not being passed now, but I'm curious to know what the whole data privacy thing. What does it say to us as consumers about our privacy when
Bella
it comes to?
wasn't like, let's
our
like get
data
into it. Like, who are you?
No.
Like, yeah.
Which particular issue?
No.
Are you talking about the SIM registration?
Yes,
all
I'm
of
talking
that
about
stuff?
SIM registration, because
Okay.
there's been new updates coming out as of I think today even.
Yes.
Yeah.
That it's officially not going to happen. So we're happy, but we need to know.
Well, it's not gonna happen in the initial guise.
in
Yes.
that
Yes.
way.
Yeah.
But so now we're curious to know how safe are we, because now it got us thinking about that, right?
You're very safe, and I must give a special salute to the parties involved who were putting this regulation together, because we went through an exercise of making submissions, and we've been heard in those submissions, and we're back to a path where the multiplicity of stakeholders who are regulated, being ourselves, and the various consumer and other bodies and interest groups made their submissions to say there are problems as follows with this particular instrument, and we've been heard, and we can only celebrate that it's a triumph and a vindication of the fact that the democracy still works.
That's a great first question and a great first answer.
and I asked it as a first
She didn't
question
even warm me
because
up.
No, she really didn't leave you up.
no, see, but I'm warming the people up, because
Oh,
then
okay.
it means we're free to say what we can say now, because we
Okay.
know that we're relatively sort of safe to say stuff.
All right, I'll ask my
But,
first.
but let's just be clear, I can't comment on anything that involves cases
That
as
are
they
on the
say,
go.
the matters are still on the go,
Yeah.
and those determinations will be made in due course.
My first question is gonna be, who is Mohale Ralebitso? I also said your middle name too, but
Hey,
I'll hold on to
No,
that.
say it.
We want him to come back.
Hey, otherwise get fired.
Who is Mohale Ralebitso? Tell us a little bit about the new Vodacom MD.
I'm undoubtedly an optimist, which is one of the reasons I'm here.
Yeah.
I am an entrepreneur at heart, and you may say, what's an entrepreneur doing working for a corporate? This particular corporate understood me for who I am, found me in the entrepreneurial environment, communicated as I always do, and I tell it like it is.
Yes, you do.
And they said, you actually just might be the man for the job. And I was like, well, make sure you're sure, because what you see is what you're going to
You don't get half measure here.
Yes, and as you saw just now, I was talking to my little guy, Tavang. His older brother is probably only now just on the way back from school or sport. I think he was playing hockey today, so that's a significant part of my life now, and for the last 10 years has been perhaps the biggest transformation in my life is having children.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing especially being an entrepreneur. If you fail for yourself, and yes, that's a big issue. But now if you fail, there are two little souls who's...
These dogs gotta eat.
Absolutely. And they're eating more and more.
And boy, do they eat.
Yeah, and they want to swim, and they want to do this, and they want to...
Yeah.
So
that's
that's a significant part of my evolving character, I suppose. But I've always had a consciousness about the fact that the world is bigger than me and my particular circumstances, so I suppose that's a default. I am undoubtedly my mother's son.
Yeah.
And hopefully I have a heart as big as hers, and I wear my late father's sense of precision about me in most of the things that I do in life. I'm specific about things. Some say obsessive, but people shouldn't judge, you know.
No judging here.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
judging here.
No, this is a completely safe space.
Yeah. And I care about how the world ends up. If you were to ask me what my mission is in life, is to leave the world slightly, if not significantly, better place than I found it. Because I'm certainly here because people made the effort to make the world a better place and safer place for me. So here I am as the MD of Vodacom Lesotho.
How long have you been with Vodacom?
I've been with Vodacom. This is my 4th month.
Month?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's like fresh.
No, he said he's an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So they plucked him from entrepreneurialism.
Yeah, I'd been running my own business for some 8 years or so. I'd left Old Mutual One in 2013, where I was working with them in the emerging markets business and on that exco team. Started my business, did various things, was chairman of a couple of companies, ran a couple of our investment portfolios, all of which ended in June this year.
Are you more marketing or are you more banking? What is your love? Like where
I'm just a business person, because for
Okay.
me you can't, because there are business people who think that they've grown up and they no longer want to be marketers. I'm like, bollocks. I'm still a marketer at heart, because the thing that I want is to leave people in a far better place than they were, and the discipline that most drives that and brings focus to the customer is marketing in an enterprise.
Yeah.
So I'm not one of these people who are like, no, I'm now a banker, a financial services guy.
This is still
I'm
who I
now
am.
a telecoms guy. That part of me is still very much alive. It never switches off. My starting point and default when I look at any commercial issue comes from that standpoint. The brand, the relationship with the customers, and the rest happens. And I'm never going to pretend to be anything but that. I'm not aspiring to be an accountant. I respect accountants.
Good for you. Count those
And you
beans,
can hug
guys.
them too nowadays.
Yeah.
But by the time you get to counting and doing the numbers, something has to have happened. It happens in the marketplace. It happens with people.
That must have been one heck of a pitch they gave you. For you to go. I mean,
I don't get paid to promote marketing.
sheesh.
I'm just not going to be one of those. No. William, I'm a former marketer. No chance. Still very much there. I love both. The complexity that banking or financial services in general brings is really something. And all the systems in the world now can't run without some degree or other of financial services. Look at what was a market collapse in 2008. It affected the real world in very fundamental ways.
Yeah.
To the point where even as COVID came along, we hadn't really fully recovered from the 2008 financial crisis. So whether it's in your personal space, we have to engage with those things. It's quite fundamental to them. You can't do anything without a basic understanding of finances.
I'm going to prod, and I want you to take us back before we come to where you are currently. I want you to tell us just one epic story about your time at Herd Boys.
Oh wow!
Herd Boys.
Let me. I was actually just about to say.
The place of
Sorry.
legends.
So I have a massive gripe with. I don't know who the gripe is with. I think it's with all of you, because there is absolutely no ways that an entity like that should be in in the annals of history.
Yeah.
I think that is a really, really important part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me rewind a bit. So, in the early chapter of my life, I thought I wanted to be in fact, I genuinely did. I wanted to be an academic, which is to inform good quality thinking and to do things from a fact-based perspective.
Isn't your sister academic?
Yes, she is.
Yes, she is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dr. Ralebitso is very much an
She's
academic.
very definitely an academic.
And a microbiologist know-how.
Yeah, she.
For completeness, Dr. Ralebitso Senior, so that I don't disrespect my brother-in-law. I don't want him flying here to say. So I'm at UCT minding my business, and I drive a friend of mine to do a voiceover. And it was for the Caltex Mass Choir Festival. So as I'm sitting there, Gloria Mchagoni says, "Hey, when get come on." Huh? Theo is here to do the voiceover. Mohale, how can I come on? So we do a quick take for the Mass Choir Festival. She's like, "You got it, my boy."
Yeah.
So I start doing voiceovers.
Oh, okay.
And the funny thing is I was getting paid more doing voiceovers than UCT was paying me to teach some fine young man.
Oh, yeah.
Including my brothers.
Yeah, who ran away from my group because he was like, this guy.
It's not.
No one to be like, Gamester, you're busy dancing for 100%. So anyway, I eventually meet James Jacobs. He introduces me to the late Dr. Derek Bromfield. Mike Bosman, who's a captain, a chartered accountant, LLB, all of those things. Really, really sharp minds. And I'm like, okay. Because my initial response to James had been, listen, you guys do these ads, thanks for the money.
Yeah.
But I'll look at their impact on society. So anyway, James prevails. I meet Mike and Derek. Long story short, my advertising career starts.
Okay.
And I go in, AE, account manager, strategist. And then while I'm there, I get
So you went straight out of varsity into advertising, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well, post-grad, by
yeah.
So, and then, and there's always a tussle between Happy and Dimape, who are the founders of Herd Boys.
Right.
Together with Peter
PV.
Fundler, who was the chairman of that entire setup.
Yeah.
So anyway, long story short, I get a call, and it's like, Ralebitso. I'm like, who calls me by my surname?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, the Dimape Renyane is called me in Cape Town and Happy, and they're like, we'd like you to come up to Joburg. I'm like, sure thing.
You don't even ask what for.
Sure thing.
Yeah.
I pull up in Josie, and Happy pulls the stunt of saying, and we'll meet you at Wendy's. And Happy's thinking, Cape Townian.
Yeah.
The guy doesn't even know. Little does he know that I used to get my parcel from Garissa Junkyard in Soweto.
Yeah.
I had a Golf, beautiful thing. If you've never had one, get yourself a Golf.
Doesn't
No,
drive
I've never had a